Good morning. It's so great to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Anne.
It's wonderful. I'd like to introduce Kirry Toose, for those of you who don't know Kirry, as well as Jen Florey.
G'day.
And both are part of the Untethered fibre art group. So welcome to Timeless Textiles, and what a great plan you hatched some time ago. And here we are.
We're good at hatching plans, aren't we?
You are very good at hatching plans. I would love to know about Untethered. You started in 2014, so you're up to 8 years now.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about how on earth you can keep such a beautiful big group going.
20.
20 members.
Yeah, we sit on about 20.
So Kirry, you tell me about where this idea came from.
Well, in the beginning, I was actually talking to Des in the car coming back from another exhibition, just saying that I'd like to exhibition more often. I was just brainstorming. I'd like to be part of exhibitions more often, but the whole thought of doing a solo exhibition was overwhelming because that takes so many years to just get yourself organised. But you need to keep your name up there because no gallery is really going to be interested in you if you fade in and out over the time. So a group that's focus was on exhibitions at a more professional level. How can we go about it? Because there was nothing around that we knew of. So basically it was just me brainstorming trapped in a car.
So over those years, Jen, how have you attracted members?
I think it's about establishing a reputation and about good communication. It's also about setting really good boundaries within the group and sharing the workload. So the expectation when new people come in is that it is a shared workload. Everyone will take a responsibility and make a positive contribution to the group. And the two sorts of criteria that we basically have for new members is you've got to have an established practice, or particularly in fibre, and you have to be a good fit for the group, so your interpersonal skills are treasured.
Because we are a small group, we have become a family, and over 8 years, because the membership stayed constant, we've grown.
Became particularly
I only
important.
laugh about the family. I mean, sometimes they can be disastrous.
We have that too. We do have that. We all have our idiosyncrasies, but family come back.
It appears as an outsider, just watching the Untethered group, that you're a very congenial group. So you've talked a bit about it, but what is it? Did you set up a big view of the world and you've all agreed to that particular goal, or what is it that actually keeps you knitted together? Because it's hard as a group to keep it. And I think people watching this are really interested in knowing what that glue is that keeps a group as successful as yours going.
Personal connection. So we can't... the difference between Untethered and other groups is that other people might come together and their works might be for a particular exhibition. There might be a jury process involved, and their only connection to that group or that exhibition is for that one exhibition. We meet a minimum of 4 times a year, both because we're an association, so we have to have that meeting, but we also have social days, and at those meetings it's as much about getting to know each other, talking with each other, sharing information about our lives. You know, we're all at particular stages in our lives: illness, parent issues, children issues, and we're there as support. And we genuinely offer a collegiate and family-like atmosphere.
And the other C word is COVID.
Yes.
we had to adapt during COVID because we still had exhibitions being on the horizon, being postponed, and then other members like Jane Bodnarak set up an Engage and Enrich program that we had to take advantage of Zoom because people were living on their own or in their own world too.
And so using social media, closed social media groups in order just to post and say, how are you okay, you know, what are you up to? And it could be anything from, you know, what am I doing in the garden today to what book have I read, or
Yeah.
What yummy cake you cooked.
Yeah, yeah. We even had that.
So it seems to me, looking in, that you're being very clever at identifying the skill set of each member and then celebrating that. So handing over that portion of a whole running a group, exhibitions, promotion, etc. And it seems to me you've been very successful in that.
The important thing is we've really tried to work as a team, and we all keep a similar role, whether on committee or off committee. We've just juggled, because with 20 we're very limited, you know, and we've fluctuated down to 70 and maybe just a bit over 20, but we're sitting on that. I think the team, we don't encourage the I mentality.
No, it is. We say that we are a group and we exhibit as a group. We are not a series of sole practitioners exhibiting as sole practitioners within the framework of a group. So that when our title goes up, it's the exhibition title, Untethered Fibre Artists. That's the name of the artists. So if people can live with that and understand what that actually means, that's important. So that there's, as an individual artist, you have to, on occasion, make concessions because you need to be respectful and cognizant of the group and how you're exhibiting and how your work will impact on others within the group. So it works well.
And you're all women.
Yes. Haven't really had an application from a bloke.
And it wouldn't stop us.
No, it would not.
No, it's just, yeah.
This is the way that it has come out. That said though, I think that one of the reasons why Untethered has been so successful so fast is it has quite a unique set of people who came together at the same time with really strong skills in particular things. So it's enabled us to give us a big kickstart, really.
Where do you see Untethered going? Has it got a limited lifespan based on the
Depends on the phases of the moon and the month and how overwhelmed we are. Whether it's going to be 5 years, 10 years or forever.
We plan for 5 years, like in 5-year cycles. So we've got, we're just about to start, or we're in our second exhibition cycle, and each exhibition cycle has 5 exhibition titles. So we know that well in advance. So we sort of know where we're going. It's just...
And we have a story. It's a story. It's a story in that 5 years.
Beautiful. Congratulations on this wonderful exhibition, Alternate View. It's a fabulous way that you've set it up to install inner perspectives blocks. I think that's a really innovative way to approach a group exhibition.
Look, it's an interesting story how this came about too. It was during COVID. We could see that we were losing the connection with each other. There were health issues and family issues. We also had distance is a very big one as well. And we had the acrylic boxes from a previous exhibition. And the thought of recycling and actually creating something with optimism that was looking out, looking forward, and then also uniting us with a common goal in an exhibition, but via Zoom or via internet, and that's how it came about. So recycling, regenerating, renewing and looking out. It ticked a lot of boxes, literally.
So let's talk about the process of you getting this exhibition together. You've got 17 people in this exhibition. So you came up with a notion, and just talk me through the process of how you worked with your 17 members to end up with such a exhibition that hangs so well together.
Now that's the $1 million question, because I think once we worked out it was a cube and it was in the middle of COVID, and so the title Alternate View, we were hungry for another way of looking, another way of being, if you like, so that, and we always like to reuse materials and not let them go to waste. So we'd been successful with each member creating a part and putting it together in an installation before, so we thought we'd go with that model again. And so we put the title and the view, and there was some brainstorming on social media, in one of our meetings as well. And then essentially people just went off and did their thing. So when I came and I saw it hung, where I was gobsmacked at how beautiful the groupings of the works were and how effective they were, not just reading as 3 individual works, but reading as groupings of 3, of 2. They did, each work seemed to enhance the others.
Do you critique them halfway through?
This one we didn't, but we were aware of what people were doing.
Yes.
We were.
Yeah, that's a social media post, so you post what you're up to, what your work's looking like. So,
and Facebook, our private Facebook group's good there because we can keep all the conversation in one place. And if you're not quite sure, because you always have self-doubt as you do one artwork, of course, and yes, and we can keep it, and we all know each other so well now that we can just say, oh, why don't you try that? We can brainstorm quite comfortably together without offending.
Yeah, that's
the big thing.
Which goes back to building those relationships. So once you have trust and you have knowledge of the other person, and it's a personal relationship, it makes all those sorts of conversations much easier.
So if someone was interested in joining your group, how do they do that?
They would apply through our website. Apply through the website and then you get a series of documents. It's very formal. It is very formal, and we have a panel.
And is it open all the time? So someone watching this thinks, you beaut, I'd love to join that group. How do they actually do it tomorrow?
Up to recently, it wasn't open all the time, but we're tossing around the idea that we would like to have it all the time, so it's not a mad rush every so often.
So now's the chance. If any of you would like to join the Untethered Fibre Artist Group, jump on their website, which I'll pop up.
And send us an email. There's an email, Untethered Gmail address that will find 4 of us in the committee, and we can look at that. But I think it's in everyone's best interest that there's a bank of people who would love to join. We are quite formal in terms of, making commitments to meeting 4 times a year, to install, de-install, to attending openings,
It's
all
not
of those sorts of
convenient.
things.
It's not convenient all the time.
Yeah.
Especially
And that
when going
involves
to
travel.
state.
That does involve travel. So, you have to be prepared to put your money where your mouth is.
What I've watched is that the content of your exhibitions are different for every exhibition. What I've found watching you is that each exhibition has a different take for the artist, and that's so refreshing.
I think that's because our artworks are theme-based, and we have a really strong dialogue about the concept, the artist's intent when making that work. So to my way of thinking, it's not just making an object, it's actually coming up with a concept that tells a story, that has a link to the theme, and then making the artwork within that framework. So it's not just a repeat of the same person's practice over and over again. Every time it's a fresh look at what materials and techniques you prefer using, but then placing them in the context of that theme and that concept.
And I think everybody in the group is quite aware that we don't accept stagnation.
No.
We just don't, because it has to be exciting. We don't want to be bored with each other's work or ourselves.
Well, I think it's wonderful. Congratulations, and thank you for making a show that fits so well into Timeless Textile Gallery, because there's different galleries that have bigger space or smaller space, and it's wonderful that you've accommodated this exhibition for here.
It's a huge honour. It is a huge honour being here. You're so iconic in the textile world, so it is a huge honour, and we want to thank you for having us.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
And it's my hometown.
It is. Hurrah!